There is a certain kind of person who is very different. The moment they walk into a place full of people, something shifts, not in the room, but inside them. While others are laughing, talking, and settling in, their mind is already scanning everything at once. Who seems uncomfortable? Who is trying too hard? Who is being ignored? The tone of voices, the forced smiles, the subtle tension in body language, it all registers instantly. They don't just see the room, they feel it. And within seconds, they are no longer just present, they are aware. Deeply and intensely aware, in a way that most people will never understand. These are people who are often described as too aware, but that phrase barely scratches the surface. Their awareness is not just about observation, it is layered, constant, and difficult to switch off. Their brain doesn't filter the world the same way others do. While most people unconsciously ignore small social cues to stay comfortable, these individuals notice everything, and that becomes both their strength and their burden. Psychologically, this level of awareness is often tied to heightened pattern recognition. Their mind is trained, either through personality or experience, to detect inconsistencies. They pick up on micro-expressions, slight pauses in conversation, and shifts in energy that others overlook. A simple "I'm fine" doesn't pass as normal to them. They analyze the tone, the timing, the eye contact. They read between lines that most people don't even realize exist. But this awareness doesn't stop with others. It turns inward just as strongly. They are constantly analyzing their own behavior, their own words, their own presence. After a conversation, they replay it. They question if they said too much or too little, if they sounded awkward, if they were misunderstood. This creates a loop of self-observation that can be mentally exhausting. Where others move on quickly, they stay behind in their thoughts, dissecting moments long after they've passed. One major psychological factor behind this is hypervigilance. For many, this level of awareness develops as a response to past environments where reading people accurately was necessary, whether to avoid conflict, rejection, or emotional harm. Over time, the brain adapts by becoming highly sensitive to social signals. What once served as protection becomes a permanent way of perceiving the world. Another layer is emotional intelligence, but in an amplified form. These individuals don't just understand emotions, they absorb them. Being in a crowded room can feel overwhelming, not because of noise, but because of emotional overload. They can sense discomfort, insecurity, tension, and even hidden hostility. It's like carrying an emotional radar that never powers down. However, there is a paradox at the center of this awareness. The more they understand people, the harder it often becomes to connect with them. Conversations can feel predictable, intentions become obvious, small talk feels shallow. And because they are aware of social dynamics, they may hesitate to fully express themselves, fearing they already know how others will react. This can create a sense of isolation, even when they are surrounded by people. At the same time, their awareness gives them a unique depth. They tend to think critically, reflect deeply, and question things that others accept at face value. They are less likely to be easily manipulated because they notice inconsistencies. They often see the bigger picture, connecting dots that others miss entirely. In many ways, they operate on a different psychological wavelength. But the cost is mental fatigue. When your mind is always on, always analyzing, always observing, rest becomes difficult. Even in calm moments, their thoughts continue to process. Silence doesn't always feel peaceful, it can become another space for overthinking. This is why many highly aware individuals crave solitude, not because they dislike people, but because it is the only place where the noise, both external and internal, finally quiets down. Interestingly, many of them don't choose this awareness. It is not a skill they picked up casually, it is something that developed over time, often without their control. And while others may admire their insight or perception, few understand the weight that comes with constantly seeing more than you wish you could. In the end, being too aware is not simply about noticing more. It is about feeling more, thinking more, and carrying more than most people realize. It is a mind that rarely rests, a perception that rarely filters, and a reality that is often deeper, heavier, and more complex than it appears on the surface.